Hey, what's up guys? It's Rob Lee here. So I'm going to do a follow-up to the video that I did about the Justine Damond shooting. I did a video about it 8 days ago, and it brought a lot of, it got 28,000 views and still going, but it brought a lot of hate, a lot of controversy, and I don't mind that. And I don't even mind it when people curse me, cuss me, whatever. You're not going to break me, man. But I wanted us to go further and see what it really accomplished, because most people don't understand what the objective was behind this. There was a mission behind it. So what I want us to do is just learn and look what this was to accomplish. But to do that, we have to be willing to go back and look at what happened before that. If you really want to know the truth, you always got to go back a little bit. 5-6 months ago, back in January, I did 2 videos about Somali Muslims, back to back. So when people criticize me and tell me I make asinine comments, you're pro-Muslim, you're defending Muslims, get out of here with your foolishness, man. In January, I was putting in work when you were sitting on your ass eating Doritos. I made a video on January 11th, January the 14th, talking about Minnesota has become a pro-Islam state. So Somali Muslims, they've come here in droves. Who are they? One got 85,000 views, something, and the other one got maybe like 100. I want us to go further and learn more about the Somali Muslims and what led up to this incident and what really happened in Minneapolis, if you really want to know the truth. About 140,000 Somali Muslims live in Minneapolis. Now, as many as 50 have been accused, and it's been verified by the government that they have gone home and fought for the Islamic Jihad group Al-Shabaab, a terrorist organization. Now, this is reality. This is the truth. And there are parts of, Minneapolis that are considered Little Mogadishu, as reference to the capital of Somalia, Mogadishu. This is where they live, and they have taken, I don't want to say taken over, because they can't do anything unless they have help, but they are wielding a lot of power now in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's look though at the leaders. Here's Minneapolis Mayor Betsy Hodges, who wears a hijab and has a hijab day when all female government workers in the city of Minneapolis must wear a hijab. U.S. Congressman, the first Muslim U.S. Congressman Keith Ellison, who is of the 5th District, which is of Minneapolis. He supports CARE, the Muslim Brotherhood, and his job is to protect and promote the Muslim Brotherhood. Then we have the mayor, Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton. He said, and I quote, "If you don't like Muslims in Minnesota, then get out, period." That's about as blunt as one can possibly be, right? Well, his lieutenant governor is Tina Smith, and she is a hard left Marxist who formerly was the vice president of the Planned Parenthood in Minnesota of the Dakotas. So as she is trying to hurt one people, she's bringing in another. I think you get the picture. But for us to learn what really happened in Minneapolis with the Justine Damond incident, we have to look at the media. And then after we look at just how the media treats us, then we'll look at the videos and just some clips of the videos that I did trying to tell you 6 months ago. Then we'll close it out, and I'll tell you exactly what the Justine Damond shooting accomplished, because it accomplished one goal. One. And I don't mean just fanning the flames of hate. It accomplished one goal. It was a transference of power. For now, though, let's watch the videos, and you tell me if you think that these people, these beings, are to be trusted.
The Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take
Economic factors may take some.
Economic factors may take.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby says yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Baby.
Happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
Well, a child's happiness is priceless, right? Especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday. A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on their birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially when it comes to their birthday.
Absolutely.
A child's happiness is a child.
In Saudi Arabia. CNN's Carl Rochelle is here with me, just came up. Carl, I know we can't be very specific given these restrictions, but within those parameters, what did you see?
Well, what I saw, I didn't see anything hit. I looked almost straight above us. There is a vapor trail coming from my right to my left, and there's a cloud of something. It looks like it might have been an explosion, a cloud. The white saying it. Okay. My apologies for he's putting on a gas mask. There hasn't been any gas dropped here that we could tell. No. You may smell some of the fumes from a missile exhaust going off.
Water port for a country with much of its coastline is frozen in by ice, especially during the winter months. Part of why it is so valuable to Russia to have the Crimean Peninsula as a place where its Navy can move in and out of. And on top of that, and I'll remind you again, this is a U.S. Navy destroyer, the Truxtun, that sails normally out of Norfolk, Virginia. On top of that, the Russian military at this point is blockading a number of Ukrainian naval vessels in the Crimea at their home port. There's actually scuttled at least 2 ships to keep Ukrainian Navy ships from being able to move out from there.
Sold for sex. The feds busting a human trafficking ring right here in the Twin Cities.
Fox 9 first breaking the news of the indictment on our website, myfox9.com. And tonight, we take a closer look now at who's behind the ring. We find out just how young the victims were, and we talk to an expert who says this is more common than you might think, right here in our own backyard.
Fridley police are hoping that the public can help them find those responsible for the random attacks of 2 joggers. This happened Sunday afternoon along the jogging trail that runs along East River Road near 37th Avenue North.
In broad daylight and within full view of a busy stretch of East River Road, a group of 7 young men struck totally at random. 2 joggers out for a Sunday run were suddenly and viciously punched as they passed by.
And these random attacks like this for no purpose are very rare.
Fridley Police Lieutenant Mike Monsrud says the victims described the group as young Somali.
Celebrations on the Muslim calendar. Eid el-Adha.
And while it's been around for centuries, a massive group of Muslims bringing in the tradition into a new era, from the mosque to the mall.
All friends, everybody will come to the Eid in the mall.
The Mall of America wouldn't be busy on a typical Monday night. But on this evening, thousands of Muslims from across the state are here to bring an age-old tradition into a new world.
Actually, what we did today, it fits the name of our organization. It's a strong women who can take care of ourselves. That's what Isron means. So So the work goes on. That work goes on. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yay!
Police are investigating a series of alleged terroristic threats made against people living in one neighborhood near Lake Calhoun. And Brett Hofflin is live in the newsroom now to explain what's going on. Brett?
Well, Leah, I talked to a few neighbors who told me throughout the week multiple young men had been harassing them. One woman even saying they threatened to kidnap and rape her.
On any given day, you can see hundreds of people around Lake Calhoun. But after just moving to the neighborhood, this woman is keeping her identity hidden to protect herself from what happened on Monday.
We couldn't get him out. We didn't know what to do.
According to this Minneapolis police report, between 20 and 30 young men showed up in front of her house around 9:30 in the morning, and the comments turned to threats.
Ain't no money can buy us. This is the neighborhood we live in.
At first glance, Shelbyville is your typical sleepy southern town. It's nestled in Middle Tennessee, where the walking horse is king. There's Main Street, the local sheriff, a movie theater. It's all very Mayberry, except for one big difference: the recent arrival of hundreds of Somali Muslims. Local columnist Brian Mosley won an award from the Associated Press for a series of articles he wrote about Shelbyville Somalis.
I found that there was just an enormous culture clash going on here. The Somalis were, according to many of the people I've talked to here, were being very, very rude, inconsiderate, being very demanding. They would go into stores and haggle over prices. Their culture is totally alien to anything that the folks here are used to.
The problems extend to local schools, where some Somali students won't talk to female administrators. There's also been issues with local law enforcement.
And I'm not really sure if that's because of their experiences with the police in their country, or if that's just the way their culture is.
Shelbyville is home to about 17,000 people. The town's Somali population is estimated between 400 and 1,000. Mosley says the Somalis have isolated themselves from the rest of the community.
We're talking about people that have not had any experience with Western civilization. They don't know the language.
So how did so many Somalis end up in rural Shelbyville? The answer can be complicated. The State Department helps resettle refugees from war-torn countries like Somalia here in the United States. The resettlement project is one part of a taxpayer-funded refugee aid program with $1 billion budget. Immigrants are chosen from UN refugee camps. The selected refugees then undergo a few days of cultural orientation and are on their way to America. The U.S. takes in more refugees than any other country, with a cap of about 80,000 this year.
What we do is we look at the most vulnerable groups of refugees.
Todd Pierce works for the State Department's Bureau of Population, Refugees, and Migration. He says the resettlement program helps America's image in the eyes of the world.
It's one of the best facets of America is that we're a very generous, hospitable country. This is something that's been bipartisan for decades now. We've brought people in. We look at Africa, we look at the Middle East, we look at Southeast Asia.
More than 150,000 Somalis now live in the United States, most in larger cities like Minneapolis, Nashville, and Seattle. Gang activity has been a major concern, and according to government reports, at least a dozen young Somali Americans have returned home to join Islamic terrorist groups. The FBI is conducting investigations in several cities with large Somali populations. Pierce says the government tries to shut any potential troublemakers out of the program.
We work closely with Department of Homeland Security to make sure that we vet people coming here, especially since 9/11. It's very important.
After a few months in their settlement cities, the refugees are free to move around the country. Somalis in other cities were drawn to Shelbyville by the jobs offered at the local Tyson chicken plant. The plant came under fire from the Justice Department in 2001 for hiring illegal Hispanic immigrants. The large influx of Somalis has only added to locals' frustration with the plant and the government.
We've had 3 major industries shut down here. 700 to 800 people have lost their jobs. They're trying to find anything they can, and then, as they see it, the government is shipping people from overseas to come here and take their jobs.
Despite locals' continued complaints about Tyson's hiring practices, the company says it's doing things by the book. Tyson reps say they're simply following federal employment guidelines and that most of their employees are local residents.
The Tyson plant generated national controversy last fall when it dropped Labor Day as a paid holiday in favor of the Muslim holiday Eid al-Fitr. The decision was later reversed, but longtime local residents say the incident was symbolic of the larger changes taking place in Shelbyville, changes they're coping with as best they can.
So, welcome back. That was quite a watch. I hope that most of you learned something about the media, just seeing it, just reminding you, because most of you actually know, but you need to be reminded. So let's talk about the Justine Damond shooting and what really happened. Was it fake news? Was it a hoax? Or was this woman really shot? Well, first of all, most of you have no clue about the occult. It's something that most of you you've never taken the time as you peruse around YouTube and you're lied to constantly. Imagine drinking dirty water with clean water. What you end up with, people, is dirty water. That's why so many of you are confused, because you'll find a couple YouTubers who care enough about you to tell you the truth, and then you'll find, if you find 2 who care enough about to tell you the truth, you'll find 7 that simply want to use you, and they'll tell you any lie there is in the book to get some money from you. That's what's really going on. This is the Masonic checkerboard, okay? The black and white. This is the pyramid over to the right. This is reality. Now this is what they put in your face, okay? This is reality. This is reality. This is not a coincidence, people. Now most of you, if you've watched my channel, I've did videos about the Illuminati, 3 of them. I plan on doing more, showing you the occult symbols and how the beast system works, because that's what's coming into play. Then we had the word Slavic, which comes from slave. Now, I don't doubt that this is that woman's name, Rachel Slavic, but you have her name, Rachel Slavic, in front of the pyramid. Slavic comes from the word slave, because we are slaves to the pyramid, slaves to the beast system, because that's what it is. Now, here you have in Minneapolis, you have Betsy Hodges with the, I don't even want to, I have to be careful with my words, and they're putting up the 1 finger. That's a tribute to ISIS. Yes, right in your face. Here's Betsy Hodges with the old police chief who has been outed, and here's Betsy Hodges with the new police chief, and you notice he's given the pyramid symbol because he's letting you know what's happened now. He's part of the team. The agenda that they have is going to happen. Now, occult numbers are the biggest ones are 33, 13, 77, 777. There are some others, but these are the ones that are used the most. Now let's just take a look at just a few. Here's the police car. 5 plus 2 is 7. In the very next picture, this is what we had. 250 others. 2 plus 5 is 7. It happened. This is on July the 16th. July is what? The 7th month. 1 plus 6 is 7. So you see the 7s constantly. This is how they mock you, because this is what they do. Then you have Justine Damond with her friend Eloise King. Notice the Photoshop error. The hair is going into the wall. You see, these hoaxers always make mistakes. You can actually even see the line where this was photoshopped. So if this was, for all you people who have doubted me, if this was a genuine story, why would you have to Photoshop something? And where are all the pictures of this woman when she was young? Because there is none. Here's the picture of her parents. You notice the black and white glasses. You see, again, the the Masonic symbolism. And who owns the Masons? The serpents do. Again, here's the parents, the black and white. This is a mind-controlled propaganda photo. Black and white Masonic symbolism. Again, the black and white, side by side, the glasses, the black and white. even on each other, black and white, black and white. The event itself, the call was made at 11:30. 11 times 3 is 33. At the end of the video, you have the continuing coverage. C equals 3. When you have dual C's together, they are symbolic for 33. For those of you who don't know what this means, man, take a few minutes. And instead of watching liars and people that harm you, take a few minutes and learn about the occult. How these people, these demons, how they talk to one another. You will start to learn their language. Think about if you're fighting an enemy and you don't know the enemy's language, but think about how much more power you would have if you could learn to understand the language of your enemy. Their motto is order out of chaos, okay? This is what they do. The 33, 777 Freemasons. This is old school, and all of them answer to this right here. This symbol right here. This is Moloch. This is the star of Remphan. This is the one that controls it all. Do you understand? The idea is to incite a civil war, to galvanize hatred. They need to have a civil war to destroy the Constitution and to set this country on fire. They want people protesting, marching, rioting, fighting. They want this country to be a lawless country. Then only can they declare martial law, and can they start putting people in FEMA camps, and can they start doing far worse. They want people to grab their guns and take to the streets and start fighting, only to end up in prison or end up dead. The United Nations is behind this more than you can possibly know. No, it's not NATO, it's the UN. Minneapolis people is a microcosm of what they want the United States to be. Okay, that's what they want the United States to be, is Minneapolis. The beings that are behind it are not Muslim. Do you not understand? Muslim is just a sword being used by the evil that is trying to harm you. Now let's take a look again at the video of the son, and we're going to make it short, and the son and the dad. Now I ask you, open up your mind. Do you really believe, first of all, that they're actually related? Second of all, do you really believe that they're really grieving? If you use your critical thinking skills, do you really believe these two men are actually grieving? Let's just take a quick look and then we'll close this video out.
It's so much. I just know that she heard a sound in the alley, so then she called the police. And the cops showed up. And she was a very passionate woman. And she probably, she thought there was like something bad was happening, and then next thing I know, they take my best friend's life.
Our hearts are broken, and we are utterly devastated by the loss of Justine.
Don Damond says he knows very little about the last moments of Justine's life.
It was Justine who called 911 on Saturday evening, reporting what she believed was an active sexual assault occurring nearby. Sadly, her family and I have been provided with almost no additional information from law enforcement regarding what happened after police arrived. Justine is a loss to everyone who knew her. She touched so many people with her loving and generous heart.
You know, many people cursed me and cussed me and told me that I had no right and I was a lowlife, this and that. It's sad because these people get mad because they don't have any critical thinking skills. They've been medicated, fluoridated, and at this point they're so dumbed down they can't see a lie. It's sad, but this is where our country is. If you see the lie, they blame you for it. This is where we are really at. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. It's time for me to move on now. I have some more work that I have to do for the loyal people that follow my channel. We have to move forward, so it's time to put this Minnesota shooting to bed. For those of you who want to believe that it's real, keep believing it, man. That's your prerogative. For those of us that know that this is a lie, this is a hoax, it's time for us to move forward. And every story that you see from now on, look for the 33, look for the pyramid, look for the black and the white, look for the 13, look for the 7, the 77, look for the 777s. You will see them everywhere. Look for the crisis actors, look for the no emotion. The media you saw earlier in the video, the media either will fabricate stories. I mean, if they have no story, they'll create one, or they will create stories to manipulate how you think. It's mind control, MK Ultra, on a massive scale, because that's where we're at now. I've said more than enough. God bless you all.